chance with Magna-Gord. Shot up, but that's good.
Just like that, Wilson from 3 trains it.
Garvin again, same on. This time she drains it. What a performance from the Lynx.
Round 8 of this topsy-turvy WNBL season continues in the nation's capital, with UC Capitals hosting the Bendigo Spirit. The Capitals have their head coach back in the saddle just in time after 2 straight losses. The Bendigo Spirit, they're a few troops down in the midst of a 4-game in 10-day blitz, but bring the Spirit, and the Spirit will have all the capabilities of causing a WNBL boil-over. You've made a great choice to join us on KO Sports for the first of our double-header this afternoon in the WNBL. Ben Waterworth with you alongside one of the sharpest minds in the WNBL, championship coach, legendary coach here in Australia, Laurie Chiswick. Laurie, great to be alongside you for this game where 2 teams are both coming off losses.
They are, Ben, and their losses were in different manners. So
yes.
Perth, a massive loss, 29 points to the Perth Lynx early on, and they lost their way defensively. They only had 7 points in that third quarter. Otherwise, you know, they did some okay stuff on the court, but they need to really make sure that they're playing 4 quarters and not just bits and pieces of the game, because they've got the personnel, but they just need to bring it for the whole game.
And from a contrast, Bendigo lost by 10 points to Townsville, but you almost sense they'd be reasonably satisfied with what they were able to put up against Townsville in Bendigo on Friday night.
Well, they had so many players missing, and they knew ahead of time, a few of them, Leilani Mitchell and Tessa Levy, but to lose Maddie Garrett, you know, after only 9 minutes of play. But what I liked about Bendigo, what they can improve on, is they had 26 turnovers. So you eradicate that. They shot the 3 ball at only 19%. So if you can bring those things up, then they're every chance to produce something special in today's game.
And when you've got a player like Annalie Maley in the form that she is in at the moment as well, coming off another monster game, putting her name up in MVP contention and just justifying once again why she's been recently named in that Opals squad, which we'll talk about ample times throughout this broadcast. Let's firstly have a look at the UC Capitals, and that's a pretty intimidating starting 5, Laurie.
Well, it is, and they've been pretty settled with that starting 5 for a few games now, and they're not particularly tall, but they're very versatile in what each player can bring. And then you see Jade Melbourne coming off the bench. Now, she could, you know, we often talk about 6 players starting, and she's certainly one that could be in that starting lineup as well. So they're pretty formidable. And as you mentioned in the opener, and we see vision now, there's Paul Goris back at the head calling out those instructions.
He is back, and of course the Capitals always well dressed. Carly Wilson does a great job making sure they're all in unison, the Capitals coaching staff. Let's have a look at the Bendigo Spirit, which is a very different Bendigo Spirit starting 5 compared to what we've seen in previous weeks.
Well, it is. You see Mary Goulding, Cassidy McLean coming into that. Alex Wilson now taking the point guard duties, which will be really important for her. While she had 15 points last game, she shot 1 of 9 from the 3-point line. So she's going to try, and she's one of those players that can really light it up. We know she can. She did it last year, so really looking forward to her. I think, to me, Ben, the real issue for Townsville is who is going to guard Kelsey Griffin.
Yes, an absolute superstar of the WNBL is Kelsey Griffin indeed. Robert Rice, Jack Taylor, Michael Beavers will be your officiators for this afternoon's game. And you mentioned Kelsey Griffin just then. Considering that we saw Demi Skinner isn't starting for the Bendigo Spirit, Carly Bogue isn't starting for the Bendigo Spirit, who the heck starts on Kelly Wilson?
Well, I've been looking at those matchups, and you go, well, if Megan McKay puts it on or guards her, then, you know, she doesn't have the foot speed, and Kelsey, we know, can put it to the floor and take it off the dribble. If you put Annalie Maley, which is the most likely, you know, Griffin, just her size and strength, but Maley, to her credit, fights so hard inside, being an undersized player. But really, I think that's going to be that matchup. And then you've got Roof, too, that they have to deal with. So, interesting. Maybe we'll see a lot of zone from Bendigo this afternoon.
Well, what an opportunity this is for this young Bendigo Spirit outfit. They're depleted, but they play with ample passion, and they'll have to bring it to the nation's capital on a Sunday afternoon. Great to have you with us for WNBL coverage, the first of our doubleheader on KO Sports this afternoon. It's the Caps with opening possession. Griffin applying the screen for Wilson for the floater. Can't get it to go, and that's rebound number one of, you think, many for Annalee Maley this afternoon. She's turned it over straight away.
That's one of those turnovers that you just don't need, and you don't need it early on in the game.
These two teams already played once earlier on in this season, with the Caps getting a pretty comfortable victory. Caps 3-3 so far in this WNBL season. Griffin with the floater, can't get it to go. Rinse and repeat. Missed floater, Maley rebound. Wilson inside for McKay. Big things expected of Megan McKay today. She can't get that first field goal attempt up, and an early foul is called.
Well, Megan's done a good job of really using her body, and we could even see on that last possession that she was trying very hard to post up Michaela Roof, and so that's going to be a good battle there.
First foul going the way of the Spirit, and the Caps now, their veterans Wilson and Griffin, such important roles in their recent championships a couple of years ago. Sykes inside, so athletic, opens the scoring. Having a terrific season, Brittany Sykes averaging 16 points per game for 34 minutes. Almost a turnover. Wilson's hands were there at the right time, just made contact with McLean, giving away the foul. Game number 402 for Kelly Wilson.
And we finally got that 400. The games were postponed so many times. I felt badly for Kelly. I think it was a relief when she finally played that 400.
Her teammate Gabe Richards, in the lead up to that, she's got the ball now, Kelly Wilson, said it was an absolutely superhuman effort to get to the 400 game barrier. She's got a little bit more left to give. Smart, catch and shoot, knocks it down. First triple of the game going the way of Britt Smart. A great season starting today. 9 points she's averaging, 36-year-old. Maley for three. That's part of her game that she's really improved on this season. And the second chance point not being able to go there. Pretty good effort by the Spirit. Goulding was leading the way there, but can't get it to go. But Sykes again. Can't get that one to drop. Griffin is fouled. She put up the second chance opportunity, and she's heading to the strike.
I like how Canberra are really pushing the ball and seeing what they can get in the first 8 seconds of the shot clock. They're really putting pressure on the Bendigo Spirit's defense straight away.
That's another thing defensively for Bendigo to worry about today. Is we've already seen Brittany Sykes driving very aggressively towards the basket. Tough to guard defensively for the Spirit.
Well, she is, and Alex Wilson was matched up on her. I'm not sure if she still is, but which is good because she's got the height. But she's, you know, you've got to be able to contain, and we know how explosive Sykes is off the dribble.
Griffin with her first points of the game. McLean for three, knocks it down, and Bendigo on the ball. Cassidy McLean getting the start today, averaging just the 1 point per game prior to this afternoon's proceedings. She's already eclipsed that. 2.5 minutes into this contest. Smart again, opposite corner. Doesn't matter which corner, Smart's knocking him down.
Well, that's why she's on the court, Britt Smart, is to nail those three-point shots, and she certainly rewarded her teammates with that today.
Slacked away by Kelsey Griffin. Capitals hot early and upping the tempo. Wilson for Smart for three. Can't get it to go. Sykes with the offensive rebound, looking for Ruth, but good hands there from McKay to force the turnover. Ominous signs early here from the Caps. Maley spinning, turning it over. And Smart again involved, this time at the defensive end of the floor. Griffin, Sykes. Griffin wants it back in the post. She gets it back in the post. She backs down, spins, in and out and back in. And timeout called by Tracy York, and rightly so, as the Caps stream out to an early 11-3 lead.
Well, I think they need to have some rules in place that when it does go into the post and Kelsey Griffin or Michaela Roof, whoever starts backing down, either a double's got to come or some sort of disruption, because otherwise they're just going to have their way with that every time down the floor.
There's Paul Corris addressing his side for the first time in over a month. Suspended as part of a Basketball Australia investigation into an integrity breach. And now Corris back serving as the coach in his full-time capacity. A little bit more to play out though. Basketball Australia announcing during the week in particular that they've appealed and a decision made by an independent hearing. So we'll probably hear more about that as early as Monday as well, if there's any more to come from that investigation. For Tracy York at the moment, Laurie, what's your early message? We're only 3.5 minutes into this game. Caps already looking ominous.
Well, I think two things. Defensively, you've got to get back and match up, or maybe throw a zone, mix it up. But right now, Capitals look very comfortable in what they're doing. And offensively, I think they need to get it through hands. Unless you've got a clear fast break, you need to get a good shot up every time. Don't turn the ball over. Get it through hands. Shift the defense. That's just too casual. Yeah. People have to move on this.
Yeah, a lot expected now of Ali Wilson, who's running the point. Veteran, basically, in the WNBL, Ali Wilson, only signed with the Flames mid-December, but ample experience with the Fire, the Flames, and the Adelaide Lightning. Only signed with the Spirit, I should say, as Roof almost able to win the ball back, but just steps out of bounds.
Again, don't worry about trying to thread the needle and make those great passes. Keep things simple right now. Run your offense, shift the defense, and get a good shot.
13 seconds on the shot clock. 6.5 left in this first quarter. Demi Skinner on the floor for Bendigo. Wilson working in tandem there with Maley. Goulding with 10 to shoot. Long three, well short. Sykes, a crossover. Wilson, Griffin, Wilson working around the perimeter. Now back out for Griffin, who has 9 to shoot. Sykes again. Great patient build-up, and Sykes is rewarded. Saw the opening in the easy two.
That's certainly what Sykes has based her game around, is that handles, that explosiveness, that driving in.
She likes playing Bendigo as well. She had 33 points and 65% from the field last time these two sides met. That's better from Ali Wilson. Sykes is called for the foul. Wilson trying to work her way inside and draws the contact. There is Brittany Sykes. She played the Lynx last week, took a tumble and had to have her wrist strap but played on. She's good to go again for the Caps. Bringing ample energy to this Capitals outfit.
Well, it's really good when you can add somebody like Sykes to your lineup to, you know, that different type of player. So yes, she can shoot the three, but she really wants to drive. So that's sort of the strength she brings, alongside the likes of, you know, Smart, who can shoot the three, Wilson, who's running the point, the bigs in Griffin and Roof. So she's just another piece to that puzzle.
Ali Wilson completes both free throw attempts. The WNBL Rookie of the Year, two-time championship player of the Sydney Uni Flames. Wilson inside for Sykes, and that is far too easy. Can't get it to go, but just as easy was Roof's second chance point.
Kelly was just waiting for her to turn around. She saw that. We saw that before Sykes actually turned and realized she was that wide open.
This triple there from Ali Wilson. Roof rebounds. In early stages, Caps have a 15-5 advantage. Smart thought about the deep two. Inside for Roof, who has 10 to shoot, fading away, falling short. Big rebound from Bunton, who draws the contact and will head to the line for an extra to complete a three-point play.
Canberra have been really patient in what they're doing. They're getting through some sets. They're really moving the ball well, and great rebound by Alex Bunton and putting it back in.
Wonderful to see Alex Bunton back in the WNBL this season. 3-year absence due to knee injuries, and then her baby daughter Opal, and she's back and doing it for Opal. And completing this three-point play to make it an 18-5 advantage. Halfway through this first quarter. And this understrength Bendigo side, coached by Tracy York, she has a lot to think about. Ali Wilson, tough. And again, draws the contact and will again head to the free throw line. Just reaching in on that attempt. 15 points for Ali Wilson against Townsville on Friday night. We started to see her find some rhythm on Friday night, Laurie.
Well, I like the fact that today she's driving in because she didn't shoot the 3-ball particularly well. So, you know, find different ways to score. And she's been to the foul line a few times now. So that's good to see. And then maybe your shot will come as the game. Let the game come to you. So we can see a zone here. Just trying to stem the flow of scoring.
They force a long to attempt from Sykes that's off target, so a good stop there for the Spirit. Maley picks up the tempo, plays point guard. She can almost just do it all at the moment. Inside from McKay, it turns around, can't quite knock it down. And the rebound there for Alicia Froling. Kelly Wilson looking for the lob pass for Bunton, doesn't quite come off. Bendigo ringing the changes there. You can see Goodchild stepping on for the first minutes. She's going to be having the inbounds pass here. Ali Wilson, who you sense is going to be having to play a lot of minutes today.
She is.
Jade Melbourne also on the floor for the Caps. She's guarding Goodchild here. Fresh off making the cut in that 16-player Opals training squad. Maley thought about the three, but instead went along the perimeter. McKay on the inside. Hook shot, falling short. Bunton over the top is called for another foul.
I like that look from Bendigo. Anna Lee was looking to throw it in McKay and realized that wasn't a good angle where the defense was, so kicked it on to the wing and a good look inside.
There's Tracy York. Tough first couple of years in the Bendigo Spirit hot seat. 5-29, the win-loss record in her first 2 years. But she's got a ripping player on her roster in Annalee Maley, who hits the scoreboard for the first time today.
They're staying in that zone, which was successful last time down the court.
Sykes. Working it around for Kelly Wilson. Melbourne, beautiful crossover. She's a young star. She's such a good player.
The thing that's important is even if you're in a zone, whoever's got the ball, you're actually playing man-to-man, so you really have to work on containing.
These is better looks, though, for the Spirit. Wilson finds McKay inside, who gets two and will head to the line for an extra.
You're right, Ben. They are better looks. They're just, you know, their shot selection so far hasn't been ideal, but I feel like they're continuing to look inside a bit more now.
Nice dish as well from Ali Wilson. That is her second assist early stages. McKay can't quite complete the three-point play as Kelsey Griffin checks back in for the Caps. Great to have you with us on KO Sports WNBL action on a Sunday afternoon from the nation's capital. There's Alicia Froling with a left hand. Can't get that one to go. And another board for Maley. It's 5 for her. Again, they look inside into the key, and Kelsey Griffin flabbergasted by that call.
Well, what Maley does a great job of is getting that defensive rebound and then punching it out. So she can handle the ball. She can bring it up the floor, as she saw here, and she's looking at McKay, who's really using her body and positioning on Griffin, and finds herself at the line again.
0 of 2 so far from the stripe. Megan McKay, who had a good game against the Caps the last time these two sides played. 10 points at 57% from the field. Able to get that second one to go. So Bendigo did trail by as much as 13. They're now back within 8.
Talia Tupea's on the floor now. Good to see her. She's had to wrestle with a lot of injuries over her career, so it's always nice to see her back on the floor because she is super talented.
Hopefully we get to see her clock up a few minutes today. Melbourne with 10 to shoot. Well guarded by McKay. Good defense in the zone here from the Spirit. Forces a Melbourne triple, but she's too good. Melbourne continuing her excellent start to her WNBL 22 campaign. Tupea almost comes up with the clean steal, knocks it away with 10 seconds on the shot clock. You're right, it is wonderful to see Talia Tupea back on the floor. Her second season with the Caps, to 8 seasons and 120 games with the Sydney Uni Flames, including a championship back in 2017. Maley raising up, can't get it to go. Good rebound from McLean. Put the ball on the floor at the wrong time, but no harm done. Fresh 14 for Ali Wilson to work with. Crossing over, again driving inside. That was a tough shot there, but comes up with an offensive rebound. The Spirit have upped the ante. Can they get some scoreboard reward for effort? Long triple attempt, way off target from Goodchild. Caps back out to an 11-point lead and make it 13.
That's what happens when you don't have any defensive transition rules, or you at least don't adhere to them. Sykes just pushing that ball up the floor, making the defense collapse, and an easy pass to Froling.
Physically, she's making a statement. Brittany Sykes, early stages here, foul off the ball caught on Alicia Froling. Brittany Sykes asserting her authority early. Beautiful look inside for Alicia Froling. See, falling off the ball.
Coming on for the Spirit, number 2, Mary Golding. And on for the UC Caps, number 2, Britt Smart. And number 8, Ellie.
Here's Sykes and assistant coach Carly Wilson. I spoke with Carly during the week, and she mentioned that in those 2 losses to Perth as well, they didn't have a 4-quarter performance. There was always 1 quarter where they let things slip. So the absolute goal today for the Caps is 1, a full 4-quarter performance, but 2, a strong defensive output. They are absolutely determined to hold Bendigo to at least 80 points or less, but I think they want a tally far less than that anyway, particularly after this start. Melbourne in the corner, can't get that one to drop.
No, being a defensive-minded team, they would not have been happy with 102 points scored by Perth.
Final minute of this first quarter. Maley inside from McKay. Kicking it back out for Goulding. Offhand, so for Caps, according to the referee. So 7 to shoot here for Bendigo. Substitutions, though, will be made. They are both teams ringing the changes early as Ellie Wilson steps back onto the floor. 5 to shoot. Lob pass is good for Goulding, who gets to go. Well played, Bendigo.
Good recognition by Alex Wilson that there was a mismatch there, and really timed that and arced that pass perfectly.
Yeah, she's got 3 dimes in this first quarter. So Ali Wilson forced to step up, play point guard, and that's what she's doing early. So there's a 14-15 second differential between game clock and shot clock as we tick towards quarter time. Cubillo on the floor here, kicking it back out for Kelly Wilson. And is that counted? Yes, it is counted. Right on the buzzer of the shot clock there. Kelly Wilson gets it to drop. Heavy screen off the ball there. No foul called. McKay pick and roll. That's too easy in the end. They'll take that, the Spirit. And as time ticks down, a very handy bucket at quarter time. It's the Caps 27, leading the Bendigo Spirit 18 at the first change.
Strong enough, not fast enough, wrong. We're crossover queens, scoring buckets, taking names and hitting no-look threes. We fight for every ball. And do we dunk? Hell yeah. When we roll into the court with nothing to lose and everything to prove, you're in for a show. She got style, she got balls, she got belief, she got game.
UC Capitals holding a 27-18 lead over the Bendigo Spirit in the nation's capital. Great to have you with us, and a special shout out to all those involved in Aussie Hoops, which is basketball's national junior participation program, which introduces kids aged 5 to 10 years old to basketball. They learn and improve fundamental skills, basic teamwork, but above all, they have fun and make friends. Almost as much fun as what those kids on screen are having at the moment. To find out where your kids can start a lifelong enjoyment of basketball, visit the Aussie Hoops Locator, which can be found at aussiehoops.basketball/find-a-program. Registrations for Term 1 programs are now open. Ben Waterworth with you alongside WNBL Championship winning coach, former WNBL Coach of the Year, Laurie Chiswick. Laurie, it looked ominous early stages there for the Bendigo Spirit, but they made some adjustments as that quarter went on, and they only find themselves down by 9.
Well, I think the biggest adjustment was going into that zone. At least it slowed down the Capitals from just continuing on their scoring spree. 27 points in a quarter is a lot, so I think they tightened up in that. And I like the play of Allie Wilson tonight. I think she's looking for her teammates, she's creating some things herself, and she's really involved in the game. And as we mentioned, she needs to be. They need her really stepping up.
4 points, all from the free throw line so far for Allie Wilson, who has the basketball now, and 4 assists in that first quarter for her. Spirit with the ball to start the second quarter, and they're starting with an Annalee Maley basket. She's got 6. And again, Bendigo able to reduce that margin back to within 7 points. Can they get a couple of stops in a row now against this star-studded Capitals outfit? Griffin misses the deuce attempt. Kelly Wilson gives them a fresh 14 to work with. Smart hit a couple of triples in that first quarter. She was waiting for a 3. Instead, Kelsey Griffin puts one up.
Oh, you can't play a zone and not block out. You have to do the same. You have to find a body. It's a bit harder, but you can't give a team 2-3 chances.
And they can't make the most of that third attempt there. Michaela Roof missing with that left-hand attempt. As Maley, very hard. She goes straight to the advertising board behind the basket, misses. And they've got an advantage here at the offensive end of the floor. Big Caps. Smart for Sykes for 2. Can't get it to go. Good, strong defensive rebound from McKay.
Well, for now, that zone is doing its job. They've had good looks at Capitals, they just haven't fallen.
Goulding, beautiful look recognition inside from McKay, but good defense from the Capitals to force the turnover. Smart was there, and now she's waiting for a triple attempt. She's been hot early. Can't continue that form. And a foul is called on that rebounding attempt, and the Spirit will get the ball back. Still a hand in there from Michaela Roof to force the turnover. Here's that foul off the rebound as Roof came in, gave McKay some attention. And it was only a couple of years ago where Michaela Roof was basically hanging by her phone and hanging by her emails for so long, Laurie, because she was waiting for a permanent residency to come in, which means she was eligible to play in the WNBL. It finally came through, and aren't the Caps mighty glad as well that it did. It's such a wonderful acquisition for the Caps, as that ball is off hands and deemed to be off Caps' hands, so still 11 seconds on the shot clock.
So McKay had her hands, the ball above her head that whole time. She was telling everybody, I am a passer, I'm waiting to pass the ball, and you just can't do that. You've got to keep that ball in the triple threat position and keep the defense guessing.
McKay provides the screen there for Wilson to put up the 2, in and out, and it's strong take off the glass there from Kelsey Griffin. He's now up to 6 rebounds, Griffin. Capitals lead that count, as you can see on your screen. Roof for Sykes, cutting underneath the basket there, backing down on Wilson. Flat hook attempt, and Spirit safely bring the ball away. Clean from Maley for Wilson, who fumbles.
Sykes is just so athletic in what she does. She's explosive off the dribble. We just saw there her actually jumping over Alex Wilson's outstretched hand to get that shot off.
Griffin, hard drive, tough attempt, even tougher rebound from McKay, who's doing some really good work off the glass. That's board number 3 for Meg McKay. Taking better control of the basketball as well now, the Spirit, after a bit of a tough start. As Skinner puts up a triple attempt, did a couple of really timely 3s against Townsville on Friday night. Can't continue that hot form early here in the nation's capital. 17% from beyond the arc, early stages, the Caps. Ruth backing down to McKay, turning around and missing. So both teams are struggling from the field of late. But Sykes is there waiting to pounce and giving it to Smart for 3.
Oh, they got let off the hook there. That's where they just have to take care of the ball. They can't have any of those loose passes. That doesn't then give them an opportunity to even get a shot up.
Clean just wasn't expecting it. Sykes was there waiting to pounce. Britt Smart certainly not afraid to put up the 3-ball attempt as the timeout is called. Smart 2 of 5 so far from beyond the arc, which would go with 6 points. A bit of a scoring drought for both of these sides in these stages. The Caps still haven't scored so far in this quarter, just the 1 bucket.
Well, I'm sure Paul Goris will be talking about some zone movement right now, or movement that you can use against a zone or a man-to-man, so it doesn't matter what they come up with, but they need to keep the zone shifting, you know, then get a good shot up and crash the boards.
Speaking to assistant coach Carly Wilson during the week, said Paul is very, very excited to be back in the coaching saddle. The team is very happy to have him back, but it has been, as I'm sure some could understand, has been quite a tough time to be away from his coaching position. So he's back out there today for the Caps. Tracy York looking for her second win of season 2021-22 for the Bendigo Spirit. Healthy crowd in attendance in the nation's capital. They love the Caps in Canberra as well, and why not when they've been such a successful team for so many years. Back-to-back champions only a couple of seasons ago.
Well, they are excited to be at home, and they went to Ballarat, played against Perth last Wednesday, stayed there thinking they were going to play the Southside Flyers on Friday, but that game was postponed, so they caught a late flight home on Friday night back to Canberra, and we're really looking forward to playing in front of their home fans today.
We're seeing Adelaide Maley starting to find some rhythm at the offensive end of the floor. She's got 6 points to go with 6 boards. Sykes, though, all alone in the middle of the key. Can't quite make it count, but that's a foul off the rebound. May have been called on Maley, but nonetheless, it'll be a Canberra ball. It's the aspect of Maley's game that she's really added this season, that ability to just pull up and hit a jump shot. Griffin for 3, KG 23.
That's nice to see her hit that shot, because the previous couple against the zone just didn't drop, so she'll feel good about that.
It's such a storied career as well with the Bendigo Spirit. Kelsey Griffin, as a foul is called on the Caps. And what a terrific stint she had at the Bendigo Spirit. She played 121 games for the Spirit, Kelsey Griffin, and across those 121 games averaged 16 points and 9 rebounds. Amazing consistency. She's been just as good at the Caps as well.
Well, if you look at her stats this year, they're exactly the same, 16 points per game and 8 rebounds. So I feel like this year she's just been a bit quiet, or maybe we're used to these great games from Kelsey Griffin, but you know, she's still their top scorer. We can see what she's doing here, but she just goes about it in a bit more quiet manner this year, so it's interesting.
But that intensity hasn't wavered as well. She's still that same warrior that
absolutely
teammates love to play alongside Kelsey Griffin. And
she's got such a high basketball IQ that, you know, great to play with and great to coach.
Yes. Still a strong leader in this Caps lineup. Still an 8-point differential there. They've really slowed the scoring here of the Caps in this quarter, the Bendigo Spirit. Carly Bogue, catch and shoot, gets it to go, back within 6.
Now that was probably the best offensive phase, or one of the best that Bendigo had. They were running their flex offense, they were very patient with it, they set good screens, worked to get a good shot of somebody open with Carly Bogue.
Well, the Caps got in response, hasn't been all their own way in this quarter. Kelsey Griffin can't hit a second consecutive triple. And another stop. Skinner thinking about going inside. She's got Maley, who's guarded by Griffin. What a matchup that is. Back inside for Skinner. Fading away, falling short. And Bunton was made to earn that rebound by Maley. Sykes has to beat 3 and beats them all.
Didn't she make that look easy, Ben?
Timeout call. Brittany Sykes again driving hard to the basket, and again perfectly executed layup. She now takes her tally to 6 points, 3 of 9 shooting, and putting on an athletic clinic at the National Convention Centre.
The thing is about Sykes is that we've seen what she can do offensively. You know, they need to match up on her early, because when she's on the run and the go and putting it to the floor, she's really unstoppable. But what I've been sort of watching is she's been guarding Annalie Maley, and while Maley still has 6 points, she is having to work really hard for them. Sykes is guarding her like a glove. She's trying to deny her the ball. She's up and in. So she's really trying to make Maley's life difficult, and she's a great defender. So Annalie's having to work very hard on what she does.
How are you seeing Bendigo's ability to defend Michaela Roof and Kelsey Griffin at the moment, considering their the size disadvantage?
Well, I think the zone has certainly helped that, and Bendigo have been talking a lot. They've been you know, communicating to each other who's got the ball, who's what. They need to block out in that zone and make sure that they're not giving them any second chance opportunities. And then when they're in the zone and they get a good rebound, try and run out of it. That's often something you can do when you do play a zone, get a good rebound and go. And so that's something that Bendigo can look at as well.
Yeah, we saw Brittany Sykes on screen just before. She put up a post a couple of weeks ago that being in Australia and with the Capitals has really truly opened my eyes to so many positive things, and that's wonderful to hear from a Basketball Australia and a national perspective as well, that she's having such a positive experience in the WNBL this season and in Australia. She's having such a positive influence on the Caps, as well as Kelly Wilson's hands were too quick for Alex Bunton on that occasion.
Well, it's an unbelievable competition, the WNBL, and whilst it's been a bit disruptive this year and that, it's still, I think, for any import to play in, one, you improve your basketball, and two, hopefully you have an enjoyable experience. And if she does, that's a good advertisement for the WNBL and Australia.
6 points to 5 in this quarter in favour of the Spirit, but the Caps just starting to find a little bit of their own rhythm, although that pass from Sykes was just deflected, so still a Canberra ball. Just the 3 turnovers so far for the Caps. They're really taking care of the Sporting today. Griffin knocks it down.
And why not? She's hit a few from the outside. She's feeling it.
Terrific from Kelsey Griffin. Continuing her strong second quarter. Bogue for 3 at the other end. He's off target and a stop now for the Caps. Kelly Wilson for Sykes. Beautiful recognition. And then the block is not awarded there to Annalie Maley on Alex Bunton. She's called for the foul.
What great team basketball coming out of a transition play. Kelly Wilson just pushed that ball up the floor. Great pass. We thought that Sykes might go up, and all of a sudden she recognizes, you know, a good shot to a great shot.
A couple of assists so far for Sykes as Annalie Maley takes a seat on the pine. She's now got 2 fouls to her name, but this is Alex Bunton. Her journey over her WNBL career and her basketball career, full stop, has been well documented. 11 surgeries in 11 years, all between the ages of 15 and 25. Remarkable that she's back out there after a 3-year absence and contributing as well. 18 minutes per game, 66 points per game.
Such a great story, Alex Bunton, and you know, her comeback to basketball.
Clean. Loses balance, and it's going to be a Canberra ball here. Sykes trying to go for the cheeky steal. She's well renowned throughout the WNBA for her ability to pick the pocket of her opponents. Here's Tupaia. Catch, shoot. That's Charlie Tupaia at her absolute best. And it's back out to a 15-point lead now.
I don't think that touched the rim at all. That was straight through the nets.
Such a good operator on the deep two is Talia Tapea. You can see the field goal percentage pretty even between these two sides as Ali Wilson misses. Fact is, though, that the Capitals have put up 8 extra field goal attempts. As Jade Melbourne doing what she does best, this young star continuing to turn heads, gets the 2 and will head to the line for an extra.
Well, Canberra Capitals are pushing the ball at every single opportunity. It doesn't matter whether it's Jade Melbourne, Kelly Wilson, Sykes. They are putting the pressure. Defense has to get back quickly, have to match up. And they're taking advantage of that. I'd be interested to know how many of their points have been in that first, 8 seconds of the shot clock. They're doing a great job.
As you look at Jade Melbourne's afternoon so far, just had 7 points as well, coming in 7 minutes of game time. Look at 8 points. The 19-year-old from Traralgon continuing to impress on the national stage. That's such an exciting prospect. Short-term, mid-term and long-term for Australian basketball. 9 to shoot.
Just have a look at Sykes and Maley.
Aggressive work off the ball as Melbourne is denied an opportunity on a fast break. Wilson trying to drive through. Bunton and Melbourne attempting to foul there. Bunton has now 3 personal fouls to her name, so she takes a seat and Froling will come back on the floor.
Oh, that shot there of Kelsey Griffin smiling.
Yep.
I haven't seen that as much this season, so I'm so glad to see that.
Foul called. There's been a triple attempt as well. So it's a bit of a blow for the UC Capitals. Yeah, certainly was from outside the arc. So an opportunity here for Upper Dunlop, but not a shooting foul is called. So McKay on the inside. Beautiful, tough work from Megan McKay.
Really good little up fake and step through by McKay.
Sykes off the glass, gets it to go. How tough, and the double flex, the double copper as well afterwards.
Just her athleticism and her strength to go up against some contact.
Continuing her awesome afternoon so far, Brittany Sykes, she will head to the line for an extra and to take her tally to 9 points. Ali Wilson kicks up the tempo. Maley for 3, falling well short. 0 from 3 beyond the arc for Annalee Maley as a foul is called. Bendigo 1 of 10 from beyond the arc compared to UC Capitals 5 of 10. Isabella Stratford on the floor for her first couple of minutes for the Bendigo Spirit. With the Caps holding a 45-26 advantage, and a timeout is called. And they've really taken advantage in the back half of this quarter, Laurie, the UC Capitals, flexing their muscle, showing who's boss after Bendigo started the quarter quite well but couldn't capitalise on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think we said after 3 minutes the Caps hadn't scored yet, so to now have piled on 45 points, that's pretty impressive. But what I've been impressed with is, one, the way they're pushing the ball up the floor. I think that's a real problem for Bendigo, the speed that they're playing at. And then 2, defensively, keeping Bendigo to 26 points almost at halftime. That's what they'd be looking for. That's what the Capitals are known for.
Yeah, the Caps, as you mentioned, really do pride themselves on defence, so they were absolutely seething, to say the least, that they conceded 102 points to Perth. But they have conceded 88 or more points on 4 games so far this season. A team that likes a shootout, the Caps, so but they're well in control here of the Bendigo Spirit with 1 minute and 21 seconds remaining in this second quarter. So Jade Melbourne at the line, 77% free throw shooter so far this WNBL season. youngest player recently named in this Opens World Cup qualifying squad. Coming off a terrific FIBA Asia Cup appearance as well. In the 19 World Championships the months before that, where she was an All-Star 5 member. She's guarding Ali Wilson with her team up by 20 points. McKay's got to beat 2 here. Did well to somehow find Maley, who gets that one to drop.
Very much needed basket for Bendigo.
Takes her tally to 8, 4 of 6 shooting for Annalene Maley to go with 7 revs. To Paya, beautiful inside for Sykes. Well, she's feeling it.
She is. She's enjoying herself too, which is something we haven't seen for a few games. So great for if you're a Caps fan, not so good if you're a Spirit fan.
First play in the double figures this afternoon in the nation's capital. Brittany Sykes, Maley again. A good look there on the floater, but a little too deep. So it's a 4-second differential between game and shot clock here. Melbourne behind the back. Great control. Inside for Froling, guarded by Dunlop. Fancy footwork, hook shot, gets that one to drop. And the Caps hit the half century just before halftime. Ali Wilson, good look for 3, gets that one to go. Points to the bench as well. And that just might do us as well for the first half. So a really much needed triple for Ali Wilson right on the buzzer to ensure Bendigo tick over 30 points by half-time. The Caps have hit the half century. They're eyeing triple figures today, and at the first half they lead 50 to 31. So the UC Capitals continuing from where they left off in the first quarter, in that second quarter in particular. Able to pile on the points, no doubt, in that quarter. They scored 23 to 13 after not scoring for the first 3 minutes of that quarter. Paul Gorris in his first game back, Laurie, be pretty pleased with what his team has been able to do, certainly from a scoreboard perspective, to hold a 19-point lead at half-time as we have a look at the first half highlights.
Well, I'm sure as a team they would have talked about and watched lots of vision of their last 2 games against the Lynx just to see, you know, where they need to tighten up on, both offensively and defensively. And they're really bringing it today. And as I've mentioned, I love the way they're scoring. They're pushing the ball. They're getting some early looks through Sykes and Wilson pushing it and facilitating. And then when that's not on, they're slowing it down and getting through some good sets and getting it through hands. Griffin, we know, came alight with the a couple of threes for her against the zone. But they've been impressive. And conversely for Bendigo, you know, I like it when they get through a few things and get it through hands. An early shot for them, if it doesn't drop, it means Canberra's on the run straight away. So you can see right there, 3-pointers for the Spirits, 18%, and some of those have been taken really early.
Yep.
And the other thing that stands out again is that turnover count, 9 to 3. Capitals really taking care of the ball.
Yep, and certainly upping the pressure as well, to forcing Bendigo into some turnovers as well, although Bendigo's ball control could probably be a little bit better. So that's where things stand at the moment at half-time in this WNBL clash between these two sides. 50 to 31 at the moment, the Canberra Capitals leading the Bendigo Spirit. Laurie, who has impressed you most so far in this first half? We've talked a lot about Brittany Sykes in particular. I know she's certainly caught your eye.
Well, she has, and again, she's doing it at both ends of the court. So she is wearing Annalene Maley like a glove and making her life really difficult. And so that's vitally important because Maley's such a scoring threat and rebounding threat. But offensively, oh my goodness, she's athletic. She slashes to the basket. She jumps high. She gets rebounds. She's just all over the court. And I like her shot selections. I like her mentality right now. I mean, just her ability to put the ball to the floor and get by defenders is second to none.
At 175 centimetres as well, she's got that versatility to play in a number of different roles on the floor.
Well, she doesn't. If you can just, that vision there, she shot the ball over 3 outstretched hands of tall players.
Yes.
So you know, she's got the confidence, which is really good to see. She's playing well, and she's really stood out to me to really round out this Capitals lineup today.
So her first year in the WNBL, Brittany Sykes. Kelsey Griffin has been around for a long time, but she's still doing KG23 things. And as we have a look at some of her highlights from the first half, just reminding us again why she's still a force to be reckoned with in this league.
Well, as I mentioned, she's got such a high IQ, and she realizes that if she's not open, she can make that pass. But it's so nice to see her lighting it up from the three-point line and getting a couple of those to fall. That anticipation there of getting that steal and then going hard to the basket. And while she didn't finish it, she's putting pressure on the ring. She's putting pressure from the three-point line. And we saw a nice big smile from her when she was on the bench. And like I say, that's really nice to see.
And she's been, her jump shot's really been on point so far in this game, which has the Capitals leading 50-31. Just before we talk a little bit more about this game and all things happening around the WNBL, Laurie, you wanted to give a special shout out here to, I suppose, a group of people that are working really hard behind the scenes in the WNBL, and in particular how much they've worked to keep this season running in pretty trying circumstances.
Well, I think we always focus on the players and the coaches, and justifiably so. They're the main event, but the doctors behind the scenes, and in particular Peter Harcourt and the club doctors, the physios that are working so hard. You know, Peter Harcourt, he started off by, you know, putting some COVID rules and guidelines in place at the beginning of the WNBL, but we know what a fluid situation this is. Yep. It's constantly changing. What are the isolation rules? What's considered a close contact? We've got different states to deal with. So each week it changes, and they're constantly on phone calls, Zoom calls, all hours of the day and night to make sure that the players' safety is first and foremost, and that they can get these players on the court. So it's a massive job, and they've really stepped up this year, the doctors.
And you mentioned this year in particular. How different is it to last year when we were all the teams are in the same spot there in North Queensland? It's a very different set of circumstances in the 2021-22 season.
Well, it is, and last year that hub certainly had its challenges, but this year those challenges are different because now we're out in the community where COVID exists, and so, you know, they're trying to keep the players safe. They've got rules, each club and that, but I think they do a terrific job, and I think it's really important that we recognize those doctors, physios, and support staff, whoever, that have really worked so hard and diligently to keep our season going. Yeah,
well said, Laurie. They're certainly doing some great work behind the scenes and helping out Basketball Australia. Let's turn our attention to the Bendigo Spirit, and who else but Annalie Maley, who continues her terrific 2021-22 campaign. She was awesome against the Townsville Fire the other night with just 18 points and 24 rebounds. A pretty handy stat line.
Oh, well, you know, 24 rebounds is unbelievable, and you know, against Townsville, who are, you know, putting pressure on that top four. We saw they had a terrific win, but Annalie just continues to amaze. You know, you and I were talking before the game how we always thought of Annalie as a rebounding machine, but that's what we talked to her about, and now she's just scoring consistently, and you know, she's up in the scoring, she's top of the rebound, and she's found herself in the Opal squad. So it's really great recognition for the hard work that she's done and how she's fit into that Bendigo Spirit culture and environment. Yeah,
double-doubles in 4 of her 5 games so far. She's on her way to another double-double this afternoon. A really important piece of the puzzle now for the Bendigo Spirit is Ali Wilson, who was only signed by the Spirit in mid-December. She's had a really good start to this game as well, particularly finding some her teammates. How important is she now, particularly as playing in the backcourt and playing as that guard?
Well, she is until Tessa Levy comes back, which hopefully isn't too long. Alex Wilson has a big responsibility to shoulder, and I like her, what she's doing this game, much more than I did the other game. I thought she was too you know, perimeter oriented, and we saw early on in this game she was driving it in and getting herself to the foul line, but she's also facilitating others, which she has to do. That as a point guard you must make sure she do. So I've been impressed with her game so far today.
So the Capitals came into this game off 2 consecutive losses, and not just ordinary losses, pretty significant losses from a margin perspective against the Perth Lynx. What do you think from what you've seen so far? Do you think they've learnt from what they've been, these performances that they put up against Perth?
Well, certainly defensively they're really focused in that. Having said that, Perth are so potent in what they bring, and we know that Bendigo, you know, doesn't have that scoring punch as much, so it's a little bit hard to compare, but it's still a focus for them today, and to keep Bendigo to 31 points. And I think, as you mentioned, they want to play for 4 complete quarters. So this next half, they have to keep going. They have to keep piling the points on and keeping Bendigo, and that'll be proof that yes, they have improved since the Perth game and recognized some of the areas that they needed to work on.
So good seeing Alex Bunton to spin and pop that layup in just then. Great to have her back. She's an important part of this Capitals roster. She isn't obviously part of the Opals squad. She was a couple of years ago, but the Opals squad, this training camp that's coming up ahead of the World Cup later this year, a squad of 16 was recently announced, and Jade Melbourne was part of that as well. She was the youngest member, Jade, of this Opals training squad. She is, you know, this is the first of many squads, you have to say. How impressive has this young lady been for the Capitals this season, Laurie?
I really like Jade Melbourne and what she does and what she brings, and she's so consistent. So each game, you know that she's going to run the floor. You know that she's going to make good decisions. She's going to put her heart and soul on the line defensively, and little dance move there, as we can see as well. But she is just somebody that, at her age, you know, a little crossover there, that she plays well above her years, and she's got 9 points so far. But I just love her attitude. You know, she's got a game face. She doesn't really get fazed by a lot. She's very fierce and competitive, and I really love that with her. But really glad to see that she's in that 16, and you know, it'll be fun to watch her in the future.
No doubt. She's got plenty of Opals campaigns coming up in the not too distant future. Speaking of the Opals, their coach Sandy Brondello spoke about the squad of 16 yesterday. Here's a little bit of what she had to say.
The squad, you see that we do have a great mixture, and for us is more like going into camp and working out what's that best 12 we want to take over the qualifiers and starting to build up. You know, it's a big year, obviously, with the preparation, and we want to take a look at as many players as we can, and you know, a lot of those players are here today.
So that was Sandy Brondello speaking yesterday on our coverage between the Melbourne Boomers and the Townsville Fire. As we turn our attention back to this game at the National Convention Centre, it's the UC Capitals holding a 15-31 lead over the Bendigo Spirit. Spirit with a really handy 3-ball courtesy of Ali Wilson right on the buzzer to keep them somewhat within striking distance, but the Caps certainly in control. Laurie, what do both teams, I think, need to work on in this second half to ensure they try and get the best result out of themselves for this second half?
Well, I can tell you from yesterday's game, when Melbourne were up by 19 against Townsville, we certainly don't want UC Caps to repeat that, so they have to stay focused. They have to continue to do what they did the first half as far as lock up defensively. They were up and they were in, and they made life really difficult for Bendigo. So they need to continue in that way and you know, keep pushing the ball, which was really impressive. For Bendigo, I think they just need to chip away. So I liked it when they were in the zone. I think, you know, keep throwing that zone out there. And offensively, get it through hands, shift the defense a little bit more, get yourself to the, you know, drive it in, maybe then kick it out to shooters, but and take care of the basketball finally. Not much for either team, is it, Ben?
Oh, we've got high expectations here. Sykes bringing the ball in. She's got 11 points. We go with 4 rebounds as we get underway in this second half. Beautiful recognition from Sykes inside for Griffin. And the 2 stars in the first half combined to get scoring underway in the third term. McLean, Bailey, turned over. Sykes is up the ante already in this third quarter. That's terrific court vision. It ends up with Britt Smart for 3, who started the game superbly with 2 triples, but just hasn't quite found her touch since. She's now 2 of 7.
It was a good shot, though. She had to take it. You know, that's her shot. That's her game.
Wilson can't connect. And her attempt from beyond the perimeter.
And for me, that shot will come to an Allie Wilson after they've made Bendigo or made Canberra play 20 seconds of defense.
Yeah.
So unless you've got a really hot hand, at least shift the defense.
Griffin's got a warmish hand. She misses as Ruth on the 3rd attempt gets that one to go.
That would have been a great segue for you, Ben, if she had made that shot.
Michaela Ruth adds the scoring, and the Caps now with a 23-point advantage. As Tracy York got up her sleeve now. First couple of baskets going the way of the Caps in this 3rd quarter. McKay for 3. Very rarely takes a 3.
Yeah, and that's just not what you need at all. You've got to find a way to come up with a better shot than that.
It was just her 2nd 3-point attempt for the season. Maybe she was confident because her first one dropped. Griffin from the stripe. And get that mid-range jumper to go. So you're just seeing maybe some rush choices on offense, early stages, Laurie, for the Bendigo Spirit.
Well, yes, and I mean, that's what scoreboard pressure does to you. You feel like you need to, you know, close that gap up really quickly rather than just each time making sure you get a really good shot, making sure you're making Canberra play some defense out there, test them defensively. You know, sometimes a team has a lead like this and they sort of go to sleep defensively.
Can the Spirit build some momentum
There
here?
you
Great
go.
pass inside for Golding, who just can't get that to go. But the pass and the recognition was outstanding.
Well, it was. That was a strong cut off of their flex action. And so you go, well, that's nice. That's what you want. Everybody knows that shot's going up. You can get in for your rebounds.
That was Carly Bogue who put up that shot, who initially wasn't going to play in the WNBL this season. She wanted to join the police force, but Tracy York convinced her to come on board for another season. As a foul is called against Annalie Maley. And that is her, it's her 3rd personal foul. Yes, it is. So she is absolutely the last player that Bendigo want in foul trouble.
One thing I liked about that last play, and they've done it numerous times in the first half, is on that dribble penetrations, there's great movement off the ball, and Bendigo are just losing vision of their player, especially that little cut under the basket, and Griffin finished that beautifully.
This lead continues to build for the Caps. Bendigo yet to score in this quarter. Carly Bogue breaks the drought, though. A couple of nice plays from Bogue to start this 3rd term. Kelly Wilson, Sykes, guarded by Bogue. Plays above her height. Get that one to drop. Maley will get the stop here for the Bendigo Spirit. Heavy screen, no foul called. Golding takes advantage, can't hit the triple attempt. That's off Maley's hands and out of bounds. Bendigo's struggles from beyond the arc continue. They're now 2 of 14 from deep.
So at halftime for the Capitals, 9 players were on the board.
Yep.
You know, that's a pretty impressive result. It shows the team play right now. And Griffin has 13, Sykes has 11, and they're their top scorers, and everybody's chipping in. Everybody's playing together.
Wilson, Griffin, trying to find Roof underneath the basket. That's off feet, though. So it'll be still a Canberra ball. So many injuries over her career. Kelsey Griffin, hamstrings, ankles, hip, foot. It keeps coming back to the well and keeps delivering.
Well, speaking of injuries, we hope that Maddie Garrick is on the floor quickly. She did her ankle in the game on, or sprained her ankle on the game on Friday night. And I spoke to her or messaged, and she said, you know, it's just a normal sprain, really annoying. I'll be back soon. So that was good to hear because she has had ankle problems in the past.
3 big outs, Maddie Garrick in this Bendigo lineup. No Tessa Lavey due to health and safety protocols, and Leilani Mitchell now pregnant. Congratulations to her.
Yes, isn't that great news? But you add in Levy and Maddie Garrett to this group right now, and you know, Maddie Garrett can go off at scoring, and Levy's a great facilitator and scoring herself. So, you know, they're certainly being missed, and I think the group that's on the floor now is you know, gallant in what they're doing, and hopefully when those players do come back, the time that they've played will service them for the future.
Yeah, at the moment on the floor there's a big class chasm, and Brittany Sykes continues to find players where there's just no room to move. She's now got 6 assists to go with 11 points and 4 rebounds and a couple of steals to go with that as well. Overall, the Caps have 9 steals to 1. Fast hands are proving difficult for this Tracy York coach side. It's got a little bit to think about, but there's a lot of young players being asked to step up and deliver at the moment for this Bendigo Spirit lineup.
And for Tracy, it's all about staying positive with this group. You know, they're certainly trying their hardest, and there's lots of inexperienced players there, so they're going to learn and get better. But as a coach, she would be pointing out where they need to improve, but really trying to keep the mood positive.
See Paul Goris down there, Kennedy Karima as well, who took charge of the Caps during Goris' suspension. Now Goris back in charge as assistant coach. As McLean and Maley working in tandem. Off the timeout, Bogue for 3. And a good third quarter. That's a great strong rebound from Goulding, but there's too many Caps around her to deal with, and they pinch it away. Great to have you with us on KO Sports, the first of a double header this afternoon. Sykes copped some contact, found Griffin, adds another assist to her tally, and Griffin adds another 3. All coming up in Canberra at the National Convention Centre today. The Caps continuing a strong performance. Really started from the opening couple of minutes in the first quarter. McLean crossing over, finds a way through, and is blocked by Britt Smart.
That's a nice strong drive from Cassidy McLean.
Unfortunately, after the shot went up, got a sort of reverse falcon. The ball hit her on the back of the head, McLean, afterwards. After, right, Laurie, that able to find some space inside with great confidence. Smart is ultimately called for the foul as well, so McLean will be heading to the free throw line. 13 games last season for Bendigo. This is her 6th 2021-22. Missed 2019-20 due to a knee injury she suffered playing for Newcastle in the local Waratah League. She's being asked to step up. She started today for the Spirit.
It's one area where, you know, it's interesting across the league, the foul shooting, because at this level, you really want your foul shooting as a team to be 75 to 80%, and we've had some really close three-point games where you look at the free throw percentage and it's, you know, it's been very low, and you think, well, you make a couple more of those and there's a different ball game. So free throws is so important for any team at any time in the game.
How tough was that from Annalee Maley? As you see Melbourne going to the rack as well, but this is Annalee Maley. Almost just sums up her improvement there. A couple of years ago, you wouldn't have seen Annalee Maley driving in with confidence and authority like that. It sums up how far she's come in that play right there. Always been strong off the glass, always been strong defensively. She's added a jump shot to her game, and athleticism that she's showing off now at the offensive end of the floor.
Well, I coached Annalee Maley in the World Championships for the under-17s. And I mean, she then was, again, a great rebounder, just a great person, wanted to learn that, but she didn't have anywhere near the strings to her bow that she's had now. So it's always, you know, as a coach, you'd love to see that.
Maley falls short in that triple attempt. Cabillo now on the court with Roof for the Caps, backing down on Ali Wilson. Roof goes to work, right-hand attempt well off target. Played by Ali Wilson on the mismatch there to force a missed shot. Demi Skinner on the floor. I need to get that one to go. You saw the rebound count just before, plus 11 in favour of the Caps. And Sykes works her way inside, and she's putting on a show in the nation's capital today.
She just turned on the jets. As she was bringing the ball up the floor, she was sort of looking around to see is there anybody to pass to, and then just change of pace hard to the basket. You can see her looking here. Nice finish by Brittany Sykes.
I have to remember, we're watching one of the best basketballers on the planet at the moment. When you consider that she was #1 in the WNBA in 2021 for steals, she was in the all-defensive first team, played all 32 games, averaged almost 10 points, 30 minutes per outing. What a wonderful recruit she is for the Caps for this season.
So good, and I think her challenge is just now to make sure that she's really consistent with the Capitals, so that every game you know exactly what you're going to get from her. And what we're seeing tonight is fantastic.
Skinner on the follow-up, gets that one to drop. A little bit of luck going the way of the Bendigo Spirit. Under 30 points. That differential between the two sides now in favour of the Caps. Here's Tapia, maybe with the margin like it is at the moment. Maybe we might see a bit more of Talia Tapia in this second half. Melbourne, all net.
She had her feet set really quickly, and just ready to shoot the ball, and that's what you want on your perimeter players. If you've got an inside-out game and the ball goes inside, if you're on that perimeter, you've got to have your feet ready to catch and shoot.
McKay underneath, gets the foul and the two, and will head to the line for an extra, despite Alicia Froling looking a tad perplexed. Here is Melbourne, yeah, right. Perfectly set up there, Laurie, for that three-ball attempt, Jade Melbourne. But we've seen Megan McKay really do some tough things underneath the rack today, personified by that play there. Can't convert. Talking about free throw percentage before, she's now 1 of 4, Megan McKay from the charity stripe.
It feels like Canberra have you know, they're certainly obviously leading this game, but in fact it's a 1-point quarter. So Canberra certainly have, you know, they haven't moved ahead, and Bendigo have stuck with them. They're still 30, it's still 30 down.
That was Casey Samuels checking on and checking into the game and hitting the scoreboard. Nice to see her back in the Caps uniform this season. 5 to shoot here for McLean, who with the left put up a tough attempt, didn't hit the rim. It's going to be the referee's call, but there's Tapia. Look at that beautiful dish as well from former Opal. Samuels getting on the board.
Actually, Ben, I just did the maths, and they were 19 points up at the half, not 29, so they have gone ahead by 10, another 10-point margin. My mistake.
Yeah, add to a 32-point lead in favour of the Caps. Foul is called, and Cassidy McLean showing how it's done from the free throw line. It's the first time all season, actually, she's been at the free throw line. Hadn't been there prior to this game, and she's 3 of 5. 30-point differential. Melbourne for Samuels, who was left alone. I just wonder, with Cubillo now having the ball, Tapia and Froling on the court along with Melbourne. Let's see the Capitals bench hitting the scoreboard and adding to the party as Froling gets the 2. Great to have Alicia Froling back in the WNBL, this time with the Caps. Stratford moving around the rim. Dunlop, McKay screaming for it in the post. Now sets the screen for Skinner, who puts up the 3 and knocks it down.
It'll be good for her to get some minutes under her legs, into her legs, just so that, you know, as the season progresses, she can get more and more confident, work out what her teammates can and can't do.
Froling guarded by McKay. Interesting left-hand attempts from Froling. I get that one a drop. So we're into the final minute here of this third quarter, which again has been dominated by the Caps. They've increased their lead every quarter break so far. McKay again screaming for it on the inside and just can't quite get the love she was after off the glass. And Melbourne sprints inside, gets the contact, count the points. She's going to the line for an extra.
She is so quick in that open court, and it was a really good decision to attack that defender because she had the steam going. The defender wasn't set. It was yeah, great finish.
She's now all of a sudden up to 16 points. Playing a game and a half today, Jade Melbourne, and now she's the leading point scorer on the floor.
Yes, Sykes 16, Griffin 16, Melbourne 17.
4-4 from the floor, Jade Melbourne, and perfect at the, in fact, one blemish on the free throw line. 9-second differential. McKay again, playing a lone hand inside at the moment. Megan McKay. And the Caps will see out and have the final say in this third quarter. Cubillo calls for the play, finds an opening. Tapia for three. Can't get that one to drop. Maybe one final chance for Bendigo. McLean works her way into the front court, but Jade Melbourne capping off a terrific third quarter, picking the pocket and able to see out the three-quarter time lead for the Caps, which is 78 to the Bendigo Spirit 46. We'll have the third quarter in just a few moments. Twelve teams, 144 of the world's best players, 38 games across 10 days. Just saw a bit of a glimpse and a taste of things to come for the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup, which will deliver plenty of action for Aussie basketball fans. Sign up for first access to tickets at womensworldcup.basketball. It's returning to Australian shores for the first time in 27 years, and you won't want to miss it. And you won't want to miss this fourth quarter, for who knows what Jade Melbourne and Brittany Sykes and Kelsey Griffin could come up with for the Capitals, who hold a 78-46 lead at the final change. Ben Waterworth with you alongside legendary coach, broadcaster, Laurie Chiswick. And Laurie, it's been a tough afternoon for the Bendigo Spirit so far. Emily Maley just starting to get in a little bit of foul trouble as well. It is so important that they try and finish this fourth quarter with a little bit of momentum. Even just to win the quarter would surely be Tracy York's goal.
Absolutely. So right now you go, let's not worry about the score line. Let's just concentrate on the little things and get better this quarter, because we've got lots of games coming up and we need to make sure we're improving. So I think that would be the focus for them. And certainly for Canberra, well, they'd be happy if their goal was to keep Bendigo to 80 and they're at 46. Yep. There are going to be some happy players and coaches out there, and certainly scoring, you know, they could well and truly maybe get the 100-point mark themselves.
Final quarter underway, ball with the Spirit. Annalie Maley back on the floor, as is Goodchild, who couldn't quite get that quick attempt to go. And Jade Melbourne starting the fourth quarter like she finished in the third, with ample energy, ample speed. She'll be heading to the free throw line for an extra. There's that speed in that open court mentioned before, Laurie.
It's the speed, it's the, you know, no fear. I'm just going to take it, and the youthful exuberance of Melbourne is just so fun to see and watch.
She said she wanted to get drafted in the WNBA in the next 2 to 3 years. Do you think that's a possibility, or do you think that should be her goal in the next 2 to 3 years?
Oh, why not? She's, you know, she had that breakout year last year, really steadying, you know, she's followed on this year. It's not like it just happened last year, and she's got the attention this year. You know, players know what she can do, so defensively they're guarding her harder. But I think the fact she's in this Opal squad, all those good things would really prepare her for WNBA. It's a different ball game, though. We saw what happened to Shyla Heel when, you know, she was picked up last year. So you don't want to go early. You want to make sure you're ready, because it's a business over there.
Bunton for three. She would really enjoy that. A rare triple attempt and make for Alex Bunton. And a wry smile. And that really got the Caps bench up off their feet as well. Maybe there might be a few more tricks to come. Now she's on the inside by Annalie Maley. And losing control.
The adrenaline was pumping from that last shot when she caught the ball, or caught the ball this time.
Oh, she had a really good think about it too.
She did.
Yeah. But it was the right shot. Backed herself in, and the former Opal delivering. She's now up to 8 points so far in this game. Maley works her way into the key to draw the contact. And lead at the free throw line.
One thing Bendigo need to see is when they're running that flex offense, and which is a baseline cut and then a down screen, is that the Caps are switching. So the person that actually set the screen is wide open, and in that instance it was Allie Wilson, and Annalie just missed her on that. But that's something that they need to look at if a team is switching.
So Annalie Maley into double figures, 11 points, 8 rebounds so far today. Has got the 6 turnovers though. 6 of Bendigo's 11 turnovers for Annalie Maley, but with so many of their starting backcourt out at the moment, she's just playing so many different roles, Maley. The foul is going to be called there against Goulding, working in the post there against Kelsey Griffin, which is an intimidating prospect to say the least.
Absolutely.
Almost got the clean ball away there, but the referee was going to a hold, so Goulding called for her first personal foul. Melbourne to Paya. Guarded by Allie Wilson, former teammates at the Sydney Uni Flames. Kibillo, lovely step inside to get a good look at the hoop. And then Bunton can't quite get the clean offensive rebound. Maley there to pick it up. Clean, gets a screen from Bowes. Pick and roll action. Bowes has got too many to deal with, and the jump ball is called. Jade Melbourne once again right in the thick of the action. Possession arrows with the Caps.
Number 22, Kelly Wilson.
He wanted the travel. We'll take the neutral ball, said the referee. Nonetheless, the neutral ball equates to a Canberra ball. With 7 minutes and 50 seconds of tick remaining. Look at that steal count, 11-1. Fast hands of the Caps. Oh, Bunton's going again for 3.
Oh!
She's got 2. 2 triples.
And another smile.
Genuinely party time at the National Convention Centre now, with Alex Bunton hitting a couple of triples to take her tally to 11. She's now...
Wow, as soon as that ball went inside, well, we'll see this Alex Bunton 3 to begin with. Why not?
Now the 4th Canberra Capital to hit double figures today. Has she technically got the hot hand now? She'll claim it. Timeout called. What do you, if you're Tracy York in this situation, seriously undermanned, on the road, this is the second game of a 4 in 10 day stretch for the Bendigo Spirit. What's your message now, Laurie?
I think, you know, again, I said she's got to be positive, and she's probably in a little bit of teaching mode right now.
Sure.
So saying, you know, let's look at this. As I mentioned, you know, the screener's open. She might be talking about that. She might be talking about You know, defensively, let's try and lock down somebody and see if we can, or block out, or so now that Bunton's shot too, you've got to carry more of a hand. So I think our instructions would be really specific in what they want to do. But again, it's just, you know, it's trying to keep the troops positive at this stage.
Pretty easy to be positive if you're a Capital at the moment, player, coach or fan. You're seeing having a really good look at all the available players as well for the Caps. Just looking at the scoreboard, and I can see that only Abby Cabillo is the only Capital that hasn't scored so far. So you can almost guarantee that they'll try and get her on the scoreboard by game's end. Maley is continuing to hit the scoreboard. Long triple drops. She's 15 points for the Spirit. Kelly Wilson back on the floor. Bunted, surely not.
Oh, come on,
Maybe
shoot
Carly
that.
Bogue was a bit too close. She'll take the pick and roll, though. Wilson's gone down off the play and hoped for the best there as a foul is called. She thought about it, but Bogue was, I think, alert to the fact. You could just see Bunton off the ball there, catching Wilson high. So hopefully Ali Wilson's okay. Bunton, despite the contact, will be heading to the free throw line. It's part of that FIBA World Cup silver medal side back in 2018, Alex Bunton. Barely put a foot wrong today. Decent game.
Alex Bunton, 12 points.
12 points for her, 4 or 5 from the stripe.
You'd have to say this is her best outing so far this season, and moving forward, that will be great for her.
Maley goes to work on KG 23, finds an opening, high attempt, he's off target. Now the Caps eye triple figures. Tapea, Kelly Wilson, Bunton's inside, Tapea's outside, she has the ball now. Melbourne, Kelly Wilson using up every ounce of the shot clock here, being patient with the basketball. And a travel is called against Kelsey Griffin.
I think Canberra were almost sharing the ball too much in that instance.
Let's hear Canberra. Coming on for the first time tonight, number 12, Bronte Cole.
May have just taken that extra step there, referee. Right on point. So Cork is going to have her first minutes of the WNBL season. Really having a good look at their bench players. This pick and roll attempt there didn't quite come off Demi Skinner. Just off target, but good to have Demi Skinner back from injury as well. Returned in style against the Fire on Friday night, hitting 12 points. He made an impact in their first WNBL season with Bendigo a couple of years ago. Bunton feeling it. Her first blemish from the field. Kelsey Griffin. Can't quite get that one to drop off the offensive glass. She's got 8 rebounds to go with 16 points, KG. Clean calls for movement. Gets a screen. Gets a screen from McKay. Tries to feed the baseline cut there from Stratford, and it comes off. Well played, Bendigo.
And that's the sort of little things that Tracy York will be highlighting and you know, in a positive way, and saying this is good movement, this is what we want out there.
Just missing the Caps. So still 5 and a bit minutes left to reach the triple figure mark for the second time this season. The first time they did it was against the Bendigo Spirit, where Bendigo put up 88 on that night themselves. Great defensive hustle. Cork, I think, was playing a part there and gets a really good ovation from UC Caps fans. And there is nothing quite like a development player coming on in the fourth quarter and really making an impact.
Well, it's so great to see, and we know that, and great follow-up there by Bunton. She's having some valuable minutes, but with DP players, you know, it's they train just as hard as everybody else. Yep. They're there every day, you know, and they, you know, we always talk about the stars and that, but they're needed to be able to, you know, scrimmage, play 5-on-5 at training, and So to see their development and then to get some minutes is always fun.
Fading away there, Dunlop off target, and then Jade Melbourne quintessentially with ample expression in the face as that call was made. There was that nice pass there from McLean to Stratford, the two young guns. 22-year-old finding the 20-year-old, and then at the other end, the veteran, Alex Bunton, 28-year-old, continuing her season best game. Melbourne takes a seat. Smart back on the floor. There's Maley in and out. It's a tough attempt. And then she follows up, beats three caps, gets to McKay, and McKay is called for the foul. Those points I don't think will count. It's the determination of Annalee Maley on display.
That's Alex Bunton's fourth foul.
Yep. Just a little too keen there, Bunton really feeling it in this fourth quarter. She's staying out on the floor. Maley. Beautiful pass inside for McKay, who gets into double figures. She's 11 points and 6 rebounds. Annalee Maley as well, her fifth double-double of 21-22 so far, 15 points, 10 boards for the Opal squad member. Smart for three. Again, a decent look, but just misfiring.
I like how both coaches, when they're using their benches, they're not putting all 5 bench players on at once, which is really difficult. So you can see both teams have a couple of starters out there to just sort of, you know, help with the decision-making along the way.
Oh, the Alex Bunton show continues in Canberra. She's up to 16 points. She might be top scorer in the game by the end of the fourth quarter. Chasing Jade Melbourne, who's on 19. I'm sure would be very keen to get off the bench and add to her tally. McKay again, so hard against that Capitals defence, which has been relentless today. There's Cork, having a good look for three. Can't get that one to go. The first minutes of 2021-22. As Maley puts up a tough attempt, but it's just off target. And Cubillo, who's also searching for her first point, brings it up the floor. Smart. Bunton, guarded by Maley here. Mismatch in terms of height, but competitiveness, pretty even. 7 to shoot here for Smart. Cork for three. They're really looking for it. Every opportunity, Bronte Cork. That ball trickles out of bounds. There's Annalee Maley on screen. 15 points, 10 rebounds. 2 of them off the offensive glass, going 45% from the field today. Bunton. Chest bump there with Sykes there. I think the Caps bench have loved Alex Bunton's game just as much as Alex Bunton's loved her own game. Samuels backing down. And nice block there. Clean hands from Demi Skinner. Bendigo fans that love seeing Skinner doing work like that. Then at the other end, pulls the trigger on the three. But can't get it to go. But if she can start to do plays like that, Demi Skinner, where she can get involved defensively at 188 centimetres, it's perhaps the next step, Laurie, that she can add to her game.
Yeah, of course, she needs to be able to, at her size, she needs to be able to defend bigger players and then have the foot speed if she's in that 3 spot outside to be able to defend a quicker forward guard type player.
Still 7 seconds on the shot clock here. Cubillo for Smart, who has to put it up. She just is off target. She's 2 of 9 from the field, Britt Smart, after hitting her first 2 3-pointers of the game. Maley. Stratford, just off target. But Goodchild gives them a fresh 14 seconds, keeps it alive. Bogue. Stratford again, lovely left-hand finish from Isabella Stratford.
Really good.
Southern Tigers prospect from Mount Gambier as well. Some valuable court time there as Cork just lost control on her way through Bronte Cork.
Coming back on for the Spirit. Number 16, Papa Dunlop.
Great finish from the 20-year-old. Represented South Australia in the under-16s, bottom and top age. Final minute here at the National Convention Centre. 2 or 3 plays left remaining. The Caps are just going to fall short of that 100-point barrier. I don't think they care about that too much, considering they've restricted Bendigo to 60 points. That almost became 62. Good child, just misfiring.
That did everything but drop through the net.
Cabillo wanting to get on the scoreboard. The Caps give her an opportunity here. She goes to work inside, senses the opportunity and is firmly denied by Bogue. Britt Smart can put the icing on the cake with a triple. Caps bench out of their seats, rightly so. Britt Smart takes her tally to 9, her third triple of the game. Perfect execution. And the ultimate exclamation mark on what has been an emphatic performance by the UC Caps. Time expires and the Caps avenge those 2 losses against the Lynx with an emphatic 94-60 performance against the Bendigo Spirit. Melbourne finishing with 19 points, 16 for Syke, Griffin and Bunton. Terrific contribution of scorers for Canberra. For Bendigo, Maley 15, McKay 11. Maley with 15 points and 11 rebounds. Michaela Roof as well, 13 boards as the Caps dominated off the glass in a dominant performance, Laurie Chiswick.
Well, you know, I think they needed a performance like that to sort of rebuild their confidence. You know, they had Kelly Wilson's 400th where they got beaten by Perth and then went to Bendigo and got smashed by Perth. So this will do a lot for their confidence individually, but as a team. And it certainly moves them to 4-3 on that ladder and keep in touch with those top teams, which is vitally important right now.
They were able to increase the lead in the game at every quarter break as well. Didn't quite probably kick away in that 4th quarter as much as they wanted to, but they did sort of empty the bench and have a good look at some of their bench players as well. But Brittany Sykes really did set the tone for the Capitals today.
She did, and she brought it at both ends of the court, as we've mentioned already, and you know, to have her out there it gives everybody confidence. And Kelsey Griffin looked a different person, and then we see you know, it's so much fun to see somebody like Alex Bunton come off the bench, nail some threes, have an impact in the game, and really enjoy what she's doing.
So here's a look at the full-time match stats with the Caps holding a 94-60 victory, and statistically pretty comprehensive in favour of the Caps, and that turnover count for Bendigo really did blow out towards the end of the game, Laurie.
Yeah, and you know, you can look at the assists, 20 for Capitals, and that just indicates the type of team basketball they were playing, the number of people that got on the scoreboard other than Cabillo, and so that's a fun way to play, and that will really go a long way in kickstarting their season right now.
So the Caps with a 34-point lead, a win, in fact, over the Bendigo Spirit in the end. And we can see some great scenes on the floor as well at the UC Caps. Always a great scenes post-game. Let's now cross to the National Convention Centre, and we've got the top scorer in the game, Jade Melbourne, standing by for a chat. Jade, big congratulations on the performance today. How satisfying was it to restrict the Bendigo Spirit to 60 points defensively? Because I know that was a big focus for the Canberra Capitals heading into this game.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we've had 2 big losses now against Perth, and we've let them score way over what we wanted them to. So to come out, we had a real defensive focus today. We knew that's what we had to do. And just credit to the team. We bounced back. We obviously had a game cancelled Friday. We got in here on Saturday. We got through all the scouts, and yeah, credit to the group. We bounced back, and yeah, it was good to have a good win.
Jade, it's Laurie here from the studio. it was a real team performance. We talked about there were so many contributors on the floor at both ends of the court. Is it fun to play that sort of basketball?
Yeah, for sure. You know, we realised that the ball became when we don't play good defence, the ball becomes a bit stagnant. So we noticed that, and that's something we had to work on. So, like I said, we had a good session yesterday. We focused on that, and then yeah, it was just good to get on the end of a few. And you can tell by the stat sheet, everyone got the ball in their hands, everyone scored, and it was just great that we capitalised and knocked down our shots tonight.
And congratulations on being named into the Opal squad of 16 for the upcoming qualifier tournaments. Excited about that, and what do you think the camp's going to be like?
Yeah, I'm super stoked. You know, when I got named to the 16, I'm super excited. Playing for the Opals is like my childhood dream. So to be that one step closer, you know, to going away to a qualifying tournament would be super special. And yeah, for the camp, I'm just super excited. You know, every opportunity I get to learn from like older players that have done it before and be in that environment, I just get super excited for. And yeah, I just can't wait for next week and to get into it.
Hey Jade, just interested in your thoughts on the WNBA, because I think you said in an interview recently that 2 to 3 years time you'd love to be in the WNBA. Is that sort of what you're working towards and trying to build your confidence in the WNBL to try and get over to the States eventually?
Yeah, obviously that's a goal of mine. It always has been to play at the highest level. So yeah, potentially to get drafted one day, but right now it's just focusing on winning a WNBL championship. You know, day in, day out, I'm just working on my game. That's obviously in the back of my mind, but yeah, my sight's set on winning a WNBL championship and doing my best for this team at the moment, and yeah, just making sure we keep taking steps in the right direction, and I'm sure I will too. And
just one more before we let you go, Jade. Alex Bunton, she had the hot hand from beyond the arc. That was pretty impressive what she was able to do from beyond the arc. She doesn't normally shoot too many 3 balls. It looks like that really got the Capitals bench off their seats.
Yeah, she started hitting a few at practice, and we were like, Bunce, you're a shooter, you got to start shooting them. So Goz actually drew up a play to get Bunce open when she hit 2, so it was super exciting. She obviously didn't take that shot, but yeah, if she starts getting confidence from there, we know everyone else can get a hot hand at any moment, so if she starts getting a hot hand, look out.
Hey Jay, congratulations on a terrific performance. Enjoy the celebrations and go well for the rest of the season.
Cheers guys, thanks for having me.
Jade Melbourne, a young star. We have to remember that she's only 19 years of age. It's scary to think.
Oh, she speaks well, she plays well, she's just a bundle of energy and enthusiasm, and it's so great, one of the real up and rising future Opals.
Speaking of up and rising Opals, there's Shyla Heal on screen as well, and another Opal, Darcy Garvin. Those two players will be in action next year on KO Sports. It's the Sydney Uni Flames taking on the Perth Lynx from the Kudos Bank Arena in Sydney. The Lynx, they are one of the top contenders in the WNBL this season, but the Flames are still searching for that first win, Laurie. It's going to be a big occasion for the Sydney Uni Flames. They've kind of been teasing us in recent games, but if Shyla Heal does get going, gosh, anything's possible.
Well, it is, but what a game to have to play against to get your first win. The Perth Lynx, they really have set the benchmark so far in this league, and so I think it'll be a really tough ask for Sydney, but you know what? You never know. Well,
Laurie Chiswick's the hardest working person on the WNBL broadcast team at the moment. She's been doing a lot of games. Have the next one off, Laurie. I think you can have the next one off. But stick around on the KO Sports broadcast, because we've got the Sydney Uni Flames and the Perth Lynx coming up next. But on behalf of Laurie Chiswick and the entire hard-working team, this is Ben Waterworth signing off from the National Convention Centre, where the Capitals made a statement with a big 94-60 win over the Bendigo Spirit. Good afternoon.